Welcome back to Orchid Delirium. Good morning. I'm Brenda, and this is usually how I start my mornings. I brew my cup of espresso, double shot, and I walk out here and I take a little look around, especially when I have a slower morning. Like today, I finally had a day off work and I just started reminiscing at my collection and where it is now compared to where it used to be even just in November of 2019. So it has definitely expanded exponentially, and my little modest hoard has really just expanded. So it's just so much fun in here now. Let's take a look at my Frag Parisii. Dropped its second bloom. Very interesting flower to hold in your hand. It does have a rubbery texture. It's ripening its third bloom, so I'm excited waiting for that one. My Hawaiiara is still just fiery red, hot pink, just gorgeous. It has some buds fading, but I've really enjoyed this compact grower. And I don't think there's too many varieties of it, maybe one other, but I definitely really am enjoying this one. Next, I believe I have my Tolumnia Kalapana Red. She's still highly pigmented and just showing off. I've had her for almost a month, not my blooms. This is my Dendrobium Cryocephalus, has a really bad reputation for pitching fits for 2 years or more before it rebounds, and so we're just in our first year. So this is my new acquisition, Encyclia radiata. Its blooms are just starting to open and I really love it. It's got this lime green delicate coloring with purple veining in the bonnet. Sorry. This is my Stanhopea, and I hope that this leaf is just yellowing and desiccating and dying in its natural process. The pitting was already there. It's interesting to look at the process. I'm really hoping that it's just dying off. I do have my new growth that it's still working on, and there's no signs yet of it branching off to either show a leaf out or any progress into an inflorescence. These are buds that are on some of my Catasetinae. These are on immature growth, so I guess I consider them summer bloomers. They are still working on their growth. I'm a little leery. I'm watching the growth to see how they progress. If I see any signs of a stagnant growth or more desiccation in the older bulbs, I will probably cut it back, but I'm trying to keep the feed levels up as high as I can. I have quite a few of them that are turning into summer bloomers. This one in particular, it looks like a hyacinth inflorescence with that tight grouping of buds. So they look so cute. They almost look like little marshmallows or something you could eat, but you can see the pigmentation starting to develop. I'm very excited to see how this one ends up looking. I have another Catasetinae that is doing something a little unique. These are still growing off of immature bulbs, but this one has actually thrown out 2 growths at once, and then it grew this third growth, and then it's developing something else in the pot, another growth. So I'm not really liking the coloring on it, but we'll keep an eye on it. This is my Dendrobium microchip. It's my first growth since I've had it, and I really love just how large and in charge these leaves are compared to their older leaves. It's H&R Dendrobium, so I know that Roy talked about cutting back his feed levels on them, so you can see the curling in the leaves there. So I'm expecting the new growth to just be much stronger since I'm feeding regularly. This is another Catasetina that has blooms on the tip that are kind of bursting open. I'm not sure that they're gonna last. I am definitely losing one of my seedlings. This is I think Rebecca Northern, which was the one that I wanted, which figures that's the one. It's toast. If you've ever had a catasetum that rotted on you, you know there's pretty much nothing you can do to stop it. It's just pervasive. My Harryella retrocala, I decided to take the moss off of the mount because it does stay super hydrated in its semi-hydro situation. It hangs in this jar with water that it barely touches, so it's always leaching up water. And I have a leaf growing. The bud is still, or the bloom is still hanging on. I went into my grow tent to look around, and I have my Sophronitis ceruna, and I put it in there. I knew that I should take the moss off, and I just didn't have time. And I believe within the 2 weeks it's been in there, it developed some serious rot issues. I might actually lose one of the individuals, but the second individual plant on here is a little bit stronger looking, but it does have little signs of rot. So I'm very disappointed in myself, and that's just a lack of following through with proper culture. This is my Holcostylus, I believe it's called. It has been working on one leaf for a year. It's been working on this root that has decided it needs to burrow through the cork. So it's just been stuck there for maybe 7 months since it hit that nook, and it's slowly punching its way through. There's the leaf in the middle that I've been working on for a while, so hopefully we'll see some progress. It's really seeming to like the grow tent. This is my Centipede. I was examining it because it actually sits next to the zipper door of my grow tent, and so do my Dockerillas, and they both had roots that look like they were kind of drying up their tips, and so I am thinking that I need to start keeping it closed. My other Dockerillas are growing really great. They have new growths coming on, new roots coming out. My Wenzellii has new little, I call them blades. I'm not sure what their proper name is, because they're more than a leaf, but not exactly a suit, but they do have a pseudobulb. So I just refer to them as blades. This is my Dendrobium unicum, my replacement plant. It's doing really great. I really wanted to show just how long this inflorescence is, and it just keeps extending and lengthening, and so things are getting really tight in my grow tent. My poor long-suffering Dryadella cristata. This was 2 individual plants, and last year I couldn't keep up with watering, so I was spraying them down, and quite a few of them did not appreciate that. So she's really holding on and trying. I think Leonis, right? She's growing a root. She's branching off of an old root. I'm very, very happy about this because really all it's been doing is taking up water through its leaves on its fan. My Macropodanthus Cootsii is finally so happy. It's putting out roots on all sides. My newest Kipferstinia has a bloom that just opened yesterday. It's so pretty. It's like a feather, like just a luxurious feather, and crystally icy, and oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous with just a little hint of yellow. And I'm curious to see how it develops, if it changes at all to a more pure white or if it becomes more yellow. I'm just really enjoying Kipferstenias, and I cannot recommend them more. They are quickly becoming my most favorite. They're on my favorite list, but they're not quite on the most favorite. But I just love that there's a lot of variety, and they're all so different. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, especially when I can get it in focus. Sorry that the light keeps going in and out. We just have this very humid, like cloudy day where the sky breaks all of a sudden and just dumps rain. It's very monsoonal, I guess, is a good way to say it, and then it passes. So here's a view of just how small the plant is. It's very compact but floriferous. These are my new Cattleya saphronitis canaye, and they are doing great. They're just adjusting. And my very sad looking what is that? Ascocentrum. I'm sorry, Ascocentrum. It's still not showing any signs of anything. The leaf that it's growing is extending. I know a lot of orchids do grow a root after they mature their leaf, so fingers crossed. Here's my Dockrilla that I was talking about earlier with the root tip that's just, it's wanting to dry off, and it sits here by the zipper. So I've now moved it to a location across from the door, and it should be happier there. And ooh, look at this scaly plant. It just, ooh, it gives me the willies, but I really enjoy it. I can't wait to see what it does for me in here. I'm not sure if it's necessarily happy there. My Phalaenopsis equestris or something like that. It was a seedling. It's been attacked by spider mites. I've treated it, and then it decided that it wanted to rot off its new leaf. So I can see the darkness around the crown area here. The root still looks good and strong, so I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I'm ready to be done with that seedling. I forget this one's name, but I just bought it recently. It's putting out a new root. I had to change its location because I think it was staying too humid. It did develop a little bit of leaf rot, so we did deal with that a little bit. And on to my package that I received. I didn't even notice it. It was in the middle of my walkway, and I just walked past it last night when I got home. It was my 7th day of work in a row, so I just was not, no, I was just ready to relax. But I ordered these on May 11th, and they just showed up. In fact, if I look in my Amazon history, they are actually labeled as missing. And so I don't know, like, how do I tell them that they're here? But anyway, these are my favorite self-watering pots, and I expected them to ship late because of everything that's happening in the world, but I didn't expect them to be this late. I was hoping to put my newest Catasetina in these pots, but I feel like I missed the window. I really don't want to risk breaking roots right now that we're reaching our peak of heat here. So I'm gonna leave them alone. It's really more my aesthetic, not that they need to be repotted or anything. I just want everything to be uniform, and as a grower sometimes it's hard to put your wants to the side and let the plants do what they need to do. Luckily, the quality of these pots didn't change since I ordered them last. The plastic molding is still perfectly made. It's got the wicking cords. It still comes with the freebie little net pot that you could put in your own pot or use it as a net pot. These do come with instructions for how to ease the pot apart, but of course I wouldn't be Brenda if I didn't try to just bully these part. But anyway, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate it so much, and I really enjoy showing my grow space with you and sharing what's going on in there. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.